Welcome to the Revenge Story Times channel. Aaron Carson is a client relations manager who sells electronic entry systems. Think of the type you see in hotels, where you tap a keycard against the lock instead of swiping it. He's constantly on the road, spending 1 or 2 nights a week out of town. His wife, Karen, is a stay-at-home mom. They have 2 young children, aged 2 and 4, named Jimmy and Joey. Aaron and Karen have been married for 5 years and met in college. Aaron is a typical Irishman with jet black hair, brown eyes, and he keeps himself in fairly good shape. Karen is slightly above average in appearance, with short blonde hair, blue eyes, and Eastern European ancestry. She maintains a relatively good figure but is self-conscious about her stretch marks and C-section scar. Aaron doesn't mind at all and lovingly calls them her battle scars whenever she gets too upset about them. Life is good in the Carson household, a suburban 2-story home with 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a fully equipped basement. When Karen's father visits from the East Coast, he stays in the guest room and usually stays for a week. Karen's father divorced her mother 5 years ago, and no one knows the full story. Karen suspected her father was cheating and wanted to leave, but her parents never discussed it and quickly shut down any questions. Aaron was on his way home after one of his overnight trips. At the last minute, he changed his plans and decided to head home instead of staying out for the night. It was only 8 p.m., and he could be home by around 10. He pulled into his driveway just as a man was driving out. The man looked startled as he sped away. Aaron saw that the man had come out of his house, shook his head, and grew furious. As he stepped through the door, Aaron calmed himself and called out, "Honey, I'm home." Karen came downstairs in a robe, fresh out of the shower, and said, "Hi baby, I wasn't expecting you until tomorrow." She kissed him softly, and Aaron noticed the minty scent of toothpaste on her lips. "Honey, who was that man who just left?" he asked. "What do you mean, Aaron? There was no one here." "Dad's in the basement," she replied unenthusiastically. "Well, someone was definitely here and drove off as I pulled in," Aaron insisted. Hearing that Aaron had come home, Karen's father, Jack, came upstairs. "Hi Aaron, good to see you, son," Jack said. "Hi Jack, who was the guy that just left?" Aaron asked. Jack looked visibly nervous and glanced at his daughter while she stared back at him expectantly. "I didn't know anyone was here. I've been in the basement all evening, watching a movie and drinking your scotch," Jack said hesitantly. "So, let me get this straight," Aaron said, his tone sharpening. "You're both home, neither of you knows who the man was that just left, and I find Karen fresh out of the shower. Can either of you convince me that Karen wasn't with another man?" Now Aaron was starting to get angry. Could Karen really be cheating on him? Did her father know about it? Jack said, "Aaron, she's not cheating on you, I swear." "And how would you know that, Jack? You didn't even know someone was here. The basement is pretty soundproof, especially compared to the bedroom. She could have had that guy in there screaming like a banshee, and no one would have heard except the kids." Karen was crying desperately, trying to defend herself. "Dad, please tell him I can't let him think I've been unfaithful. Please, Aaron, I swear I'm not having an affair," now hysterical. She turned to her father, who slumped into a chair. "Aaron," Jack began, "that guy was here for me. He's an escort I hire when I'm in town." Aaron shouted, "That's complete nonsense." "It's true, honey," Karen interjected, "that's why my parents separated." "It's true, Aaron," Jack said quietly. Aaron, in shock, sat down on the nearby couch as he tried to process his father-in-law's confession. His thoughts turned to what he knew: this would explain her parents' divorce. Could this be an old family secret? Karen obviously knew, but why hadn't she told him? "Aaron, honey, please say something." "I would never cheat on you, you know that," Karen pleaded. Aaron looked at her and thought to himself that actually, he didn't know that. But how could he prove it? He thought about the fresh shower, he thought about the feeling that she was hiding something from him. Then suddenly, an idea struck him like a light bulb flashing overhead. "Fine, call him," Aaron said. "What?" Jack and Karen said simultaneously. Invite him over, Aaron repeated. If he came here for Jack, Jack has his number. Call him. She looked frightened as she and Jack exchanged bewildered glances. She's calling him for me, son, Jack said. Aaron started laughing. Of course she is. Call him over here right now, he said with an angry growl. Why, honey? How is this going to help? She asked through her tears. Aaron smirked, not revealing his entire plan, and said, I just want him to confirm your story. She softened and went to get her phone. As she came back downstairs, she was already on the call. Yes, we need you to come back to confirm that you were here because of my father, not because of me. Aaron shook his head, realizing that if this man was her lover, she might just be preparing him with the right answer. Still, it didn't matter, soon, everything would be clear. He'll be here in 10 minutes, she said. That's quick, Aaron replied. Does he live nearby? She looked at him with her red, swollen eyes and said, I don't know where he lives. Alright, Karen looked terrible, and Jack looked like someone had just died. Aaron chuckled inwardly as he walked to the basement bar to pour himself a drink. When he stepped behind the oak bar to grab his scotch, he noticed only one glass. He had a beautiful bar, well stocked with an impressive collection of fine Scotch whiskies, his favorite. He saw that Jack had been drinking Glenfiddich 15-year-old and poured himself a glass. Then he heard the doorbell ring and went back upstairs. Peeking into the living room from the kitchen, he saw his wife talking to the escort, but Jack remained silent. Aaron entered the room and said, Hi, I'm Aaron. Sorry to drag you here, but I needed to know which one of these two is your client. The escort smirked and said, I'm Chris, and I was hired by Jack. Aaron smiled at his wife, glanced back at Chris, and asked, How much do you charge? Chris paused for a moment, then confidently said, $400 for a house call. And what does that $400 include? Everything, Chris replied. Honey, are we good now? Karen asked. Of course, baby, Aaron said, pulling out his wallet. Chris, how much would it cost for just one nice caress alone? What? Karen shrieked. You want him to pleasure you? No, darling, Aaron smirked. I want him to do it for your father, to make up for all the confusion and my misunderstanding. Chris stood silently, while Jack looked like a deer caught in headlights. Karen quickly interjected, That's not necessary, sweetheart. Everything's fine. Let's just let Chris be on his way, and you can come upstairs with me. Don't be ridiculous, it's not a problem here. Chris, would $200 cover your efforts? Aaron asked. Chris was completely stunned, and Jack stammered like a fool. Fine, I'll make it $300 if the miss and I can watch. I've never seen a live act that I wasn't involved in myself, Aaron added with a sly grin. I'm not watching someone pleasure my father. You're acting like an ass, Karen snapped. Karen, if he doesn't do it for Jack right now, I'm going to kick his ass and your father's for lying to me. What's it going to be? Aaron demanded. Jack nervously said, It's okay, sweetheart, it needs to be done. Chris turned his head so quickly to look at Jack that Aaron thought he might have gotten dizzy. Jack walked over, grabbed the scotch from Aaron's hands, and downed it in one gulp. He looked at Chris and said, Do it. Chris dropped to his knees, swallowed hard, and watched as Jack began unzipping his pants. At that moment, Chris lost his composure and fell over, still kneeling. Screw this crap, Chris muttered. You caught us. I slept with your wife, but it was only once. Karen screamed no as Aaron approached. Chris smiled and delivered a powerful kick to his groin. Chris screamed in pain as he collapsed onto the floor. Jack bolted to the basement and slammed the door shut, terrified of what was coming for him. After all, he had enabled his daughter's betrayal and tried to take the blame himself. It was as if they had a pre-planned strategy in case they were caught. Aaron thought grimly. Karen was sobbing, pleading through her tears, Aaron, it was a mistake. It was just sex. It was my weakness. It's over. Aaron looked at her with contempt and said, pack your stuff and get out of here with your father right now. I don't care where you go." She left in tears while Aaron noticed Chris sneaking toward the door. "And where do you think you're going, you damn coward?" Aaron growled. Chris got a swift kick to his rear and bolted for the door. He managed to escape and get into his car before Aaron could reach him. In truth, Aaron hadn't really tried to catch him. He wasn't about to end up in jail over it. Karen came down the stairs as Jack emerged from the basement. She was crying and pleading, "Aaron, please let's put this behind us. I don't want our family to fall apart because of my stupidity." "You should have thought about the family earlier, you idiot," Aaron shouted. After they left, Aaron went downstairs and refilled his glass with the golden amber liquid. He glanced at the message he had received earlier that evening and dialed a number. "Hey, Aaron, what's going on? I came home later than I planned, just in time to see this guy leaving." "Damn, you didn't catch them in the act?" "No, but I made him confess." "What?" "Yeah, it's a long story, but you'll enjoy it. You'll appreciate hearing about my incredible acting skills." "Thanks for the heads up, Carrie. Always happy to help. When I overheard her talking to him and making plans, I knew I had to let you know. You know I never liked that idiot, and I hated her even more for taking you away from me." "Well, you were the one who left me." "Yes, I was too young and scared to commit. Running away from you was the biggest mistake of my life. I've never stopped loving you. We can talk about this later. I need some rest. Good night." "Good night, Aaron. Stay in touch." Aaron smiled, recalling the call from his ex-girlfriend earlier that night when she told him he needed to get home because his wife had invited her trainer over. Karen had no idea that she and Chris were speaking loudly enough at their table in the health club's cocktail bar for others to overhear, and she certainly didn't realize that the pretty red-headed woman sitting behind her was Aaron's ex-girlfriend, someone who deeply regretted their breakup. As she hung up, Carrie silently prayed that Aaron would divorce that adulteress and give her a second chance. 5 days after being caught cheating on her husband, Karen was walking down the long hallway in the emergency wing of St. Alexander's Hospital, searching for room 7A. She took a deep breath and stepped inside. "Hi Dad, hi Karen, any news?" "Yes, but first tell me how you're doing." "Well, they don't think I'll have any permanent damage, thank God. Now I'm just waiting for an X-ray on my arm before they put on the cast." "Are you in a lot of pain?" Karen asked, suddenly feeling a pang of guilt. "Not anymore, they've got me on something now, but earlier it hurt like hell." "Are you planning to call the police, Dad?" "They were already here, the hospital called them when I explained what happened." "So are they arresting Aaron?" "God, no. I'd never take him away from the boys. I told them some guy in black jumped me and tried to steal my wallet. Besides, this is on me. I should have knocked some sense into you when you told me about your little plan. Thank you for not turning him in. I really am sorry, Dad. I just fell for your nonsense about what they don't know won't hurt them." I didn't say, "Oh, shut up, Dad." It was complete, and I just couldn't see it. I thought my plan was foolproof, especially with you as cover in case someone told Aaron about Chris coming and going. That gay peace story would have been perfect if he hadn't tried to buy you pleasure. She sighed deeply before continuing, "I thought I was so damn smart, but it turns out he's the one who's truly brilliant. It was a good plan, but I should never have agreed to it. I should have talked you out of it, and I regret that now. We're paying the price. God, all I wanted was one time with that perfect specimen of a man, and it wasn't worth it." "So what did Aaron say?" "He's going to let me come home later to talk with him. He's cooled off, at least with me. I haven't been served divorce papers yet, but I know he's met with a lawyer." "The lawyer probably didn't make him happy." "The kids are young, and that's a lot of child support and alimony he'd have to pay for a long time. All I can hope for is a chance. I can't lose him, Dad. I know it's stupid to say this after what I've done, but I just can't. I love him so much," she said, breaking into sobs. Baron approached the Starbucks and peeked through the window. He saw his ex-girlfriend Carrie sitting and waiting for him. He walked in, ordered a coffee, and sat down across from her. "Hi Aaron," she said with a wide smile. "Hi Carrie, how did your meeting with the lawyer go?" "Rough. Even the fact that she slept with him in the house with the kids doesn't matter, it's a 50-50 split. I'm stuck paying the mortgage, child support, alimony to her. It's insane. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm not even sure I want the divorce. I know I'll miss the kids terribly. What about revenge? I've already told you, your ship has sailed. I appreciate you trying to help me, but getting back with you after you broke my heart wouldn't help. I'm really sorry, Aaron. I was hoping for another chance, but I understand. Just know that I'm ready for revenge, with no strings attached. Hell, we could even do it right in front of her if you're planning to stay with her." Laughing, Aaron said, "I'll keep that in mind. That idea isn't entirely hopeless. I'll tell you what, I'd even let you use the back door." "Wow, when did you get into that?" "I haven't exactly been celibate since I left you." "Well, if I decide to do it, I definitely wouldn't mind." "Karen doesn't let me go there," she smiled and asked, "So, what's your plan now?" "I'm meeting her later. She's at the hospital right now. Apparently, her dad got kicked in a area and fell down some stairs." "Oh my God, what happened?" "He was trying to give my wife an alibi so she could cheat on me." "Oh my God, you sent him to the hospital?" "Yep, is he going to go to the police?" "I doubt it. I told him that I'd just post bail and do it again. I'm pretty sure he'll be smart enough to think twice." "Dude, you're cold." "Not really, I just want him to think twice before helping her cheat again." "Do you think she'd actually do it again?" "No, I don't trust her, but I don't think she'll do it again. One of her friends, someone she trusted, got mad at her and told me everything she said. Apparently, she was lusting after him because he's so good-looking, but he's terrible in bed. His size was average, and he was just a pump and dump. She didn't get the satisfaction she was looking for and doesn't think she'll risk it again." Karen told her friend that she shouldn't try to find a better lover than me because, as she said, I am a very good lover and will always make sure she gets pleasure more than once. "Yeah, you were always a very selfless lover. I remember, you had a great tongue, magical fingers, and a pretty nice tool." "Thanks, but that didn't stop her from going astray." "Well, to some extent, I can understand her. She had a gorgeous guy interested in her, so she took a huge risk to get a piece of the pie, only to find out the packaging doesn't make the gift any better. I can see why she wouldn't risk it again. Once burned, twice shy, as they say. I wish it were that simple." After I threw her out and ended our conversation that night, I cried for a whole hour. I just lost control and broke down. I have these bouts of anger and confusion about how she could do this to me, but then I end up crying again, thinking about losing the kids. "It's just too much for me," he said, his voice breaking with a tear in his eye. "That sucks, and you don't deserve it. You're a great guy, you have a great job, and you deserve a great family life. I'm really sorry you have to deal with this mess. Listen, I need to get back to work, Aaron. It sounds like you already know what you're going to do. Just keep in mind, my ass is on the table for you." She patted his hand, stood up, and left. Aaron took the last sip of his coffee and realized she was right, he did know what he was going to do. "Do you want some wine or anything else?" Aaron asked his wife. "No, I want to keep a clear head," Karen replied. "Good, I don't want any lame excuses. I know everything about why you did it. What I want to know is how I can trust you in the future and how you can prove that you love me." She dropped to her knees, sobbing, and rested her head on his lap. "You have to believe that I love you. You can trust me because I understand that I was wrong and I'm sorry. My father filled my head with all his crap. Yes, I knew from the beginning why my parents divorced. They didn't want you or anyone else to know, so I kept it a secret. My father was always cheating on her. She had no sexual drive after menopause and didn't even know about his affairs until one day, in a fit of anger, he told her himself that he was going to see a mistress who actually satisfied him. That was the end for her. I don't care. I know, but that's what planted the seed. He got away with it for years, and I just wanted it once, based on him not getting caught until he admitted it. I thought I could do it once without any problems. Chris was so good-looking and he wanted me enough. I already told you, I don't care about your excuses. No, I want to explain why you can trust me. Fine, go on, he said with composure. I did it, and it was awful. He was terrible. I realized I cheated on you for nothing. You didn't do anything to deserve my betrayal. I know it's narcissism. I know it's all on me, but I will never risk losing you again. Until the next attractive trainer shows interest? No, please. I love you. I know it will take time for you to believe that and to trust me, but I'll spend every day making it up to you, if you let me. Did he take you from behind? He asked, already knowing the answer. No, I didn't even give him that, baby. I didn't even enjoy it. My problem, Karen, is that I still love you, but I'm angry. I don't want to lose the kids and become a weekend dad because you can't keep your legs closed. Aaron, please give me a second chance. Carrie rang the doorbell, and Aaron had Karen answer it. Karen didn't respond to Carrie's bright and cheerful greeting. This is going to be interesting, Carrie said, closing the door behind her. Aaron entered the living room and greeted Carrie with a hug. Hey, how's it going? She asked. Good, a bit nervous honestly. Don't be, tonight's going to be a game changer for you, she said with a wink. All right then. Want something to drink? White wine, of course, Karen said quietly. They sat in the living room, sipping their drinks. Karen broke the silence first. Can we just get this over with? Carrie raised an eyebrow and looked at Aaron. He smiled and said, all right, let's go upstairs. As Aaron led them upstairs, Karen quietly began to cry. She had dreaded this moment, and now that it was happening, the realization of her betrayal hit her harder than ever. Aaron gestured for Karen to sit on a chair. As she did, he turned to Carrie and kissed her. Karen watched in silence, tears streaming down her face. The intimacy between Aaron and Carrie was undeniable, a stark reminder of the pain Karen had caused him. The evening unfolded with Karen bearing witness to the connection she had taken for granted. Carrie's confidence was unshakable, her actions deliberate, as if to show Karen exactly what she had risked losing. At the end of it all, Aaron turned to Karen, his tone firm but not unkind. It's over. We're even now. I have no desire to keep punishing you. Karen broke down and hugged him, apologizing repeatedly. Carrie smiled from the sidelines but said nothing. Karen eventually turned to Carrie and said, "Get out of my house. You can keep whatever satisfaction you think you've earned, but you're not welcome here anymore." 2 months later, Carrie was jogging on a treadmill when Chris approached her with a sly smile. "Hey gorgeous, can I buy you a drink?" Carrie stepped off the treadmill and, without warning, kneed Chris hard, doubling him over in pain. "This is for all the married women you've messed with," she said, kicking him again before walking away. "And for Aaron and Karen." Carrie left with her head held high, smiling at the other women in the gym who had witnessed the scene. Thank you for listening until the end. See you in the next episode of Revenge Storytimes. Take care of yourself and your loved ones. Goodbye.